Something the matter, my dear? Bond? Sit. Oh.
I take it that this is not a social call.
Correct. You should have brought lilies. What is Spiat Spionum?
Smeared Spionum was an old division. It was shut down ages ago. I swear I had nothing to do with it. Koskov.
Two of them are now dead. Koskov, you.
I'm sorry, my dear. Look, he said it was not a social call. I had nothing else to do with it. I didn't know he was going to. Look, it's all a question of trust. Who do you trust? Koskov? Or me? Dude. It was a damn stupid thing to do. The Bond. Mr. Bond, stop it. Ah!
If I trusted Koskov, you and I wouldn't be. Hello everyone, welcome to this review of The Living Daylights, which is indeed the first Bond adventure to feature Timothy Dalton in the main role. Of course, after 12 years, Roger Moore, finally stepped down from the role. I think it was the right time to go. So yeah, I mean, Timothy Dalton was actually considered long before The Living Daylights. He was actually considered during Her Majesty's Secret Service after Connery left. Well, for the first time. But he felt he was too young for the role, so he turned it down. But no, he's back, and he is Bond. And this, this is The Living Daylights. So, the basic plot of The Living Daylights is that Bond is sent to stop arms dealer Brad Whitaker and General Georgy Koskov from starting another world war by smuggling some opium, and Bond is sent to poses as Koskov's friend to investigate the girl who was set up, Koskov's girlfriend Kara, who was set up as a KGB sniper, and he sort of then protects her, and she kind of joins him for the ride and goes on from there. Really, that is the basic gist of The Living Daylights. That's all you need to know, not really much else to it. So yeah, The Living Daylights. This has got to be one of my favourite Bond movies. I ranked it at number 7, so yeah, you can tell this is a great one. Yeah, I love The Living Daylights. I think it is a great way to take Bond in a different direction. It's a great start to Dalton. It's a different approach to Bond. I mean, it's up to this point, it was the most serious Bond film. I mean, yeah, say what you like about Her Majesty's Secret Service or Goldfinger or, View to Kill. But, I think Dalton, this really works for Dalton. I mean, the tone, the shift in tone really works, and, despite the fact that we have the same director, you know, John Glen, he definitely, he knows how to do serious. I mean, for this film, and I think it works in its favour. Sort of so, and it was time for change. I think it needed to, the series needed to refresh itself because it had been kind of similar for 12 years. So it was good. The tone was very good. Timothy Dalton himself. Not everyone likes Timothy Dalton. Some people really hate him. Some people think he's all right. He's the one that people. He's probably the least popular Bond. Well, apart from George Lazenby, he's not really talked about very much. He only had 2 films, which is a shame. But I really like him. I think he's a great Bond. I love how serious his approach is. And you know, he does, you know, make it known. He has a really intense demeanour as Bond. Like, he walks around and he's like, "Still put me in touch with the Mujahideen," and the way he's very well spoken. And for some reason, you know, that works. The fact that he's a more well spoken Bond, I find that really interesting. He's not necessarily gritty. That's more Daniel Craig. Dalton is a precursor to Craig in the sense that Dalton displayed the serious side to Bond more than any of the others before him, and then Craig sort of used that as a template to build his Bond, and Craig just took it further with a more gritty approach. But I'll talk about that more in the Casino Royale review. But The Living Daylights, yeah, Dalton's great. The only thing I think that he fails at is the charm. I'm sorry, but you know, the scenes with him, with Bond and Cara, are really nice and really, really touching and heartwarming. But to be completely honest, when Dalton tries to act charming, you know, he does look very intense. It's just like, oh well, how can she fall for him? He's quite intense. I mean, when he's like, "Let's buy it," like when they're talking about the dress, and he's like, "Yogi will pay for it." You know, you're like, oh, Dalton, wow, that's quite intense. He's a little bit too intense in certain scenes. The role does require intensity, but I think he does pretty much. He's tense throughout the movie, and I think some of the moments he could have eased up a bit. Don't get me wrong, I mean, in the next movie he completely goes Terminator and lets rip, so to speak. The Bond girls, or Bond girl, there's only really one Bond girl in this movie. Cara. I really like Cara. I think Cara's a great Bond girl. She's very sweet, she's innocent. Not necessarily the most intelligent person out there, but that doesn't matter. She has a nice relationship with Bond, you know. They have some really lovely moments. She falls for him, you know, instantly, because he feels very protective of her, and you know, I think Marayam plays the part really well. Cara's sweet, she's innocent, you know, I like that. She's a more sweeter Bond girl. She's, you know, and then towards the end she just sort of like stand up to him and she's like, you know, "You stupid idiot, I'm going to come with you," and like, she's whacking him with the pillow. That scene is really tender and it's quite emotional, and he's like, "You calling me a horse ass?" That's nice. I mean, their chemistry is really sweet. It's nice. Yeah, both the actors play the scenes out really well. I don't necessarily think that it's a complete love story. I mean, from her perspective, she's in love with him, but for me, I don't think Bond is in love with her. I think he cares for her really deeply. He has some kind of feeling for her. He has an affection for her, but I don't think that it's quite that he's in love with her. I think, of course, he fancies her. I think, you know, you can tell that he likes her. I don't think he's head over heels in love with her. I didn't get that vibe. I got the sense that she was definitely in love with him. So it's kind of it's not like where, you know, Vesper or Tracy, where Bond really falls for the women, and you know, he completely it blows his mind. You know, he's actually fallen in love with those girls. But no, this isn't really one of those cases. But it doesn't change the fact that, you know, she's a great Bond girl, he's a great Bond, they have great chemistry. It's all good. There are quite a few changes from A View to a Kill to now. I think John Glen's direction is at its best. I think it is really, really, really excellent here. This is just the one where everything worked for John Glen. I think John Glen's previous 3 films were pretty good. I mean, The View to a Kill was really good. This is it's just a classic spy thriller, and John Glen just embraces that. I mean, there is a sense of fun about it. You know, there's some humorous moments, but it's not, the humour isn't as poignant as some of the Roger Moore films, because I think it was time to deviate from that, because, you know, we'd had 12 years of Roger Moore. I don't think they wanted to throw the humour at us anymore. I mean, there are some humorous moments, but they're light. You know, Dalton has a couple of one-liners, but, yeah, no, when he's like, oh, salt corrosion. That's good. The story is great. It's just a classic spy thriller. There's a kind of a love story in there, I guess. It's really, really nice. The story is well played out. It's well executed. It's very coherent. It's structured well. The pacing is terrific. I think the editing is very good as well for this movie. The pace moves along quite quickly. Characters. Obviously, Dalton as Bond is great. Cara is great. Marayam is brilliant. Saunders. I really like Saunders. But the only thing that pisses me off about the John Glen films is that he keeps killing off allies just for the sake of doing it. And this is one of those cases. Did Saunders need to die? No. But, you know, at the same time, it adds tension to the story, and when Dalton bursts the balloon, you see the look on his face. He is pissed. Not as pissed as he's going to be in the next film. Ooh, no. But, I definitely think that Saunders is a good character, and I like the moments he has with Bond. He doesn't necessarily do much. He only appears sort of at the beginning and then towards the middle, but yeah, Saunders is great. I don't know the actor's name who plays him, but he's very good for the small role that he's in. He feels like a bit of a prolonged cameo, to be honest, but you know, that's that. Also, other characters. Robert Brown as M, he's alright, I guess. New Moneypenny as well, Caroline Bliss, and to be honest, she's crap. she's terrible. I mean, I know there was no one that was going to beat Lois Maxwell. Nobody was going to live up to the legacy that Lois Maxwell built upon that character. Caroline Bliss is just like she's just nothing. Like, there's no chemistry with her and Dawn. She's like, any time you want to drop by and listen to my Barry Manilow collection, it's almost like she's trying to be flirty, but it's because he's acting a bit intense. He can't really do the charm very well, so that doesn't make her charm work. It's kind of like thrown in for a loop a little bit because of Dalton's, you know, not necessarily lack of charm, but difficulties with charm. Her flirting comes across as a bit odd. I think she's just really odd. I don't know why. I mean, she's good looking. I'll give her that. I mean, you know, she's quite pretty, I guess, and she's young. I mean, yeah, Lois. If they kept on Lois Maxwell for The Living Daylights, I think it would have been far too long for her. And you know, her with Dalton, I just can't picture that. I'm sorry, but I can't picture that. Q Branch has been given a makeover, and that's quite nice. Desmond Llewellyn is great as always as Q, and him and Dalton have some nice moments they share together. They do actually have a few more moments in License to Kill, but I'll mention that in the next review. Now, if there's anything that really does let this movie down, it is the villains. I'm sorry, but the villains were crap. Absolute crap. You know, Yorkie Koskov is just, you know, well, like, you know, there's just he's just so camp. Like, he just comes in the room and he's like, James! I'll never forget what you did for me. And Dalton looks so awkward after that. He's like, I don't blame him. To be honest, that looked improvised. You know, the Jeroen Krabbe as Koskov, I don't get what he's trying to do. One minute he's trying to be camp, like, oh, because I'm happy, clap along, if you feel... And then later on in the movie when he's like, Cara, you know, I'm going to be compassionate with you, with the Moscow Orchestra, or whatever they are. And then you're like, he's trying to be intense. It's like two sides of the coin. It's almost like he doesn't know what to do with the character. And, you know, it's just such a baffle for me. I'm just puzzled as to what he's doing with the character. It doesn't make sense, but there we go. And Brad Whitaker, he's not that much better either. I mean, Joe Don Baker, his acting is passable, but the character gets nothing to do. He's just there, and then that final fight is really disappointing. You know, Whitaker's death is well, at least to put it in best words, an anticlimax. That's what it is. I mean, there is no, you know, sort of tension during that fight. But the best villain of the movie is Necros, and he's the henchman. Necros is awesome. I love Necros. and they keep having that song being played when he appears. You know, where has everybody gone? Dur, 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 dur. And speaking of which, the action sequences are fantastic. You know, the action is great. The opening sequence is awesome. One of the best in my opinion. I think it might be in my top 5 or 10 favourite opening sequences to Bond. And when Dalton says the line, "Name's Bond, James Bond," like when he's on the phone, then he's like, "I'll pop back to you in an hour." And then the woman's like, "Won't you join me?" Better make that 2. Yeah, Dalton's good. In other action sequences, the ice chase is really cool. The fight at the embassy is great with the exploding milk bottles. Necros is great there. I mean, it's just so many great. The action sequences are just intense and exciting, and that's the beauty of it. Also, the scene where Bond is escaping from Pushkin's death. You know, that's quite good, and the climax is big and epic and spectacular. It's just, you know, explosions galore. It's like in Afghanistan. Also, the prison fight is quite funny as well. Like, "I didn't tell you to get down. I didn't tell you to get up." That's great. I mean, that guy's such a prick, but all that, you know, is great. And the Afghan resistance people are quite good. Although, can someone answer me this? Why the hell do they start laughing when Dalton is, you know, saying all this stuff? He's like, "Well, I need to put you in touch with the Mujahideen." They just laugh. Like, what? Why? Why? Why are they laughing? It doesn't. That's not something I certainly didn't find it humorous. If somebody could please enlighten me to the humorous side of that, I would be grateful. But yeah, no, the action sequences are pretty intense. I don't like the finale action sequence with Whittaker. The fight with Whittaker, that's so anticlimactic. Like, there's no suspense with that, just because when Dalton shoots thing, he suddenly stops talking, and then he's like dead, and he hasn't actually appeared in the movie enough, you know, to really warrant that final climax fight. The fight on the sort of the net of opium with Necros and Bond is brilliant, and when he cuts the shoe off and Necros falls, that's pretty spectacular. I like that. Music, John Barry's final music score, because John Barry didn't come back after this. I think he passed away sometime afterwards. I can't exactly remember when. God rest John Barry, you're brilliant. This score is fantastic. So many great themes, like it's got kind of almost like a really kind of upbeat theme, but it has some really calmer tracks too, like and then like the calm ones with the scenes of Bond car. The music there is just absolutely stunning. It's beautiful. You know, it really portrays the innocence of Cara and just the real tenderness of the relationship. Like, it's such a joy to watch, and with the scenes as well, it makes it that much more interesting. Like when they have to go back and get the cello, and Bond is like, "Well, why didn't you learn the violin?" It's music there is brilliant. Also, the song by a-ha, I like it. I mean, it's not the best Bond song, but I like it. It's different, and yeah. I mean, yes, the lyrics are kind of baffling. But they make sense. But they're just kind of like, you know, I'm good. No, that's I want the lyrics. Hey driver, where we go? Fade the darkness, let it never fade away. The living daylights. They don't quite flow as brilliantly as they could, but it's a good song. You know, they managed to get the words "the living daylights" into the song, so they tried their best. And I like it. It's a groovy tune as well. And the title sequence, again, not the best, but not the worst. And there are worse title sequences. But yeah, the woman in the champagne glass is somewhat baffling, but it's not a bad title sequence. Yeah, in terms of the the locations are great. You know, we go to Tangier, we go to Russia, we go to London, obviously. It's you know, it's fantastic. The wide variety of locations. The movie You know, cinematography-wise, it looks fantastic. Production design is superb. You know, it's a great Bond movie. It's a great first outing for Dalton. It's just because it's just such a classic spy thriller, and you know, there is actually sort of less of the sexual scenes in this movie. You know, that's kind of why they had to develop more of a romantic relationship between Bond and Cara, because of the whole, you know, AIDS campaign thing that was going on back in the 80s. I mean, that was before my time, but obviously learning in school and, you know, about all AIDS and stuff. So they obviously, you know, had to cut down on some of the sex in movies, and I think it was appropriate, and, you know, I think it worked in their favour. Obviously, you know, it obviously changed when you get to Brosnan's era. But, you know, this is a great introduction to Timothy Dalton. I really love The Living Daylights. It has pretty much everything, apart from the villains. The villains are crap, but apart from Necros. But yeah, no, and God rest John Barry, rest in peace. You were brilliant. You delivered to us many fantastic pieces of music from Bond. I'd love to hear some of his other work from other films. But as a Bond fan, I want to thank him very much for all of this music, and it's a shame that he didn't, you know, live to see another, you know, at least, you know, do the License to Kill score. Sorry. But yeah, no, we had a couple of other composers that came in for Bond. But yeah, no, I'm going to close this off now by rating License to Kill let's start that again, shall we? I'm going to end this review by rating The Living Daylights a well-deserved 9 out of 10. It's a great movie, and I love the poster as well with Dalton in the gun barrel light. And the Dalton gun barrel is quite cool as well, because we'd had 5 movies of Roger Moore's one, and it was a bit samey, so Dalton's one is nice. He's like bent down a bit more and he's more poised. Like, I like that, that's quite cool. But yeah, no, sadly, we're already halfway through the Timothy Dalton reviews. I know, only one review in. Sucks, doesn't it? Forgot to mention, my favourite scene in the movie, undoubtedly, is when Bond interrogates Pushkin. That scene is so intense, and you really see Dalton display a lot of his seriousness as Bond. Like, he's so on the job, and, you know, he wants to find the answer, and I just love the intensity in that scene, and then you realise, oh, he actually is asking him a favour, he's asking to trust him. He's like, I have got no other options, so I'm holding a gun point blank at you because I want you to trust me. That sort of situation is an interesting dynamic, because at first you think, oh, he's going to kill him, but no. But actually, it's about faking his death to make a point. That's really well played out. Brilliant acting from Timothy Dalton and John Rhys-Davies. John Rhys-Davies is fantastic as well. He's great as Pushkin. John Rhys-Davies is a great actor. He's great in anything he's in, but I have to commend him for this. All the cast are great, minus the villains. I mean, I'm not really convinced by Jeroen Krabbe as Koskov or Joe Don Baker as Brad Whitaker. But apart from that, I think everyone's fine. Oh, and Caroline Bliss as Moneypenny. She's crap. But yeah, no. The Living Daylights, yeah. Sadly, Timothy Dalton did not get very long as James Bond at all. He only got 2 films, so next time, tune in for my review of Timothy Dalton's second and unfortunately final Bond movie, License to Kill. That's going to be a very interesting review. By the way, I should mention it to you all now. If, you know, depending on when you watch this, I am actually going away on a trip to college tomorrow. Well, I might already be there depending on when you watch this, or I might be back, yeah, again, depending on when you watch this. So I just wanted to say I'm gonna, you know, the weekend my videos aren't going to be around, and I've got college, so you might not get a video from me till mid next week. I am going to do my review of Dark Water and Death in Heaven as one, but only when I've seen Death in Heaven. But so yeah, it's going to be a tad bit late, but it will be worth it, hopefully. So yeah, so I'll see you guys when I see you guys. Thank you very much for watching my review, and as always, I'm Mr. Thomas11. See ya.